Alright, so what's up? With this video, we're gonna try something different. We're gonna do a more lecture style video in which you'll be seeing this on screen, I think. So I'll be using the this app called Miro, so I can add some visuals while I go. And my little pen here, my artist glove, that's gonna let me like write on this shit. Hold on, let me see. It's gonna let me write on this shit. So yeah, hopefully it'll enhance the viewing experience is the desired effect. But anyways, let's get into what we're talking about, deep work. So you clicked on this video because you want to know about deep work. You want to learn what it is, how to use it. Maybe I made the thumbnail or the title like extra flashy, clickbaity or whatever. So you want to know what deep work is. Okay? Now, I just want to tell you something. Right now, you're working, you're producing work, you're making shit at roughly 10% of the level you could be if you're using deep work. Deep work has been described as a modern superpower. It has. It originates from a book. I have it back there. No, I don't. I lost the book, but we're trying to find it right now. But the book is Deep Work. It's by Cal Newport. He's the one who's coined the term, but he's not the one who's first started using it. People have been using deep work since fucking ancient Greek, like philosopher, like Aristotle shits have been using deep work. So, also, I don't really notice, but I got like a little planet thing in the background. So, also spice of the video. Kind of looks a little out of place, but whatever. We'll hold on to it. Okay, so let's just get on to what actually is deep work, right? Deep work is an intensive period of concentration on a cognitively demanding task. It requires your pure focus and your concentration. So I just want to explain this first. What is a cognitively demanding task? It's something you actually have to use your brain for, right? So I'm fucking like vacuuming the floor, I'm doing chores, I'm loading the dishwasher. These are things I do in my life, right? Those aren't cognitively demanding because, bro, I'm not using my brain. I'm just like, it's like menial action. I'm just like doing shit that like I know how to do. I don't have to like think about anything. Therefore, I could be working hard. Like I could be loading the dishwasher at like 100% of my focus. I could be locked the fuck in for vacuuming the floor. But it's not deep work because it's not cognitively demanding. It's not actually like straining my brain at all. Examples of cognitively demanding tasks would be like scripting. It would be I can only think of YouTuber examples because that's like where all my deep work goes to now. But like be scripting, studying, learning is a big one. I forgot about that one. But shit like that is cognitively demanding, like puts work in your brain. Let's see here. Deep work will allow you to compress 8 hours of work into 4 hours of work. And I just want to say, deep work is so straining. You should only be able to maintain it for like at most 4 hours a day. So 4 hours a day is like the professional amount. It's like the GOAT deep work lovers, like the people who love deep work, like fucking Cal Newport. They can only do a maximum of 4 hours, and that's because of how, I don't know, what's the word? How focused or how concentrated they are. So just know that expect 4 hours is the upper limit, which means for you, expect like 30 minutes, expect an hour. This is where you should be like starting, which is the period of deep work you should be aiming to do. So like I said, deep work, pure focus and concentration. You don't have any distractions. Let me get to, okay, I made this as a pros and cons list, but it's not really a pros and cons list. As you can see in this corner, it says made with napkin AI. So I just like used it to make some flashier icons that look nice. But I'll just talk to you about, I guess it is kind of a pros and cons list, okay? But the pros, first one is enhanced focus. So obviously, if you're always doing deep work and you're putting 100% of your focus into something, now, I know, okay, quick disclaimer, I know all of this is going to seem like wishy-washy right now, but practical tips coming soon. You'll know how to actually like put this shit into effect. But for now, I just want to talk about the benefits and the detriments so that you actually like want to do deep work, you know what I'm saying? Like incentivize you, because right now, maybe you're not convinced. Who knows? Maybe you are. If you are, skip this part. But deep work, the first one is enhanced focus. Obviously, you're practicing your focus, right? If you put 100% of your focus into something, obviously your focus can get higher and higher. You have more willpower, more discipline. That's like intuitive to us. So enhanced focus, enhanced willpower, enhanced discipline. Me and you, we both know the benefits. Like obviously those are good things. I'm not going to explain it. Second one is time efficiency. So time efficiency basically means that you can get more work done in less amount of time. Like what I said in the beginning, you can get 8 hours of work done, you can compress into 4 hours. That's because when you work at maximum efficiency, when you put 100% of your focus towards something, you'll do that thing a lot better. But it's not just like additive, because people think it's additive. It's think like if I put in 50% more focus, I get 50% more results. No, it's not like that. It's exponential. I will explain this later, but having 100% of your focus is not like an additive effect. It is not like additive bonus. It's not a 50% increase. It's like a 200%. 300%. It's that extra like bit like at the very end. So that extra like 10%, 20% of focus that you're not putting towards your work that makes all the difference. The third benefit is quality of work. Obviously, okay, I keep saying the word obviously. It is pretty obvious though. But you put in all your focus, all your shit into one task. That task obviously you're gonna do it better, right? Because you have all your focus on it. You're like supremely concentrated. You're not like getting distracted by anything else. The work quality you're gonna produce is gonna be higher, even though you spent less time working on it. The last benefit is that you learn faster. And this is one of the main benefits. This is like a big one. You're gonna learn faster again because of the 100% concentration, because of the 100% focus, because of the no distractions. You're gonna be able to learn things. You're gonna be able to learn hard things faster, and that's taken directly from the book. But the cons of deep work is that it does require discipline. Okay, you're gonna require discipline to actually like do deep work because you need discipline to be able to like eliminate distractions, not let yourself get distracted, keep your focus. So it will require discipline. It will use up your discipline storages, but it will also train your discipline, right? You use up your discipline storages, you'll train your discipline. It's like a muscle. You'll get more out of it. So this isn't really a con that it uses your discipline. The second one is that there's a risk of burnout. But the risk of burnout is only if you do it incorrectly. So if you do like 4 hours of deep work and you try and do more after that, you try and do more than your limit, I'm gonna tell you, like, you are gonna get burned out because you have focus limits, you have discipline limits. So, but in this video, but later I will tell you like how to properly use deep work in the practical tips section, where I'll tell you how to properly use it so you won't get burnout, you'll train your discipline, and you'll get all the benefits that we talked about. Obviously, there's more benefits, but I just focus on the 4 main ones. Okay, so now let's get onto some key ideas I want you to have before going into the practical tips. I know, like, you probably want, like, I don't like this type of format because I don't like talking about like a bunch of shit before just giving you good advice. But it's kind of like helpful background knowledge to help you understand things better. So stick with me. If you're impatient, you can just skip to the practical tips. Another thing is I kind of fucking hate this diagram. Like upon looking at it, I realize how much I hate this diagram and I don't want to use it. But we're here anyways. Sorry. This is my first lecture style video, so obviously we'll try and improve it as time goes on. But here we go. So the first one is all about distraction prevention. So deep work, obviously, you want to eliminate all your distractions, right? And like the core idea I want you to have is that distractions will distract you even if they're not like actively distracting you. I don't know if that makes sense or not, but let me just explain it, right? Distractions will invite temptation. So let's say I got like a bag of chips upstairs, right? Even though the chips aren't in front of me, I'm not like actively eating the chips. Every now and then I'll still think of like, oh yeah, I can eat chips right now. Maybe I should go upstairs and eat chips. This, I was trying to say this, not that. This temptation, if I can find my fucking words, this temptation alone will distract you. So even though you're not actively distracting, you're not actively eating chips, the temptation distracts you, and then you have to use discipline and willpower to like bring your focus back to your work. So I subscribe to this method of eliminating all distractions, but not just like throwing them away, making it impossible for you to access them. So this means throw your phone, like give your phone to like your fucking like mom or your dad or something. If you live with your parents, give it to your mom or your dad. Throw the junk food out. Like don't buy junk food and throw the ones you have out right now. I forgot some other examples. Use a cold turkey blocker. So I have a blocker. It can block harmful apps, right? Because if I'm on my computer, I can always be tempted by like YouTube or social media, or like I'm watching Suits right now, so I'm distracted. I'm like, I could just like go and watch Suits right now. It'd be so fun. I use a cold turkey blocker. It's literally called cold turkey blocker. So that's the exact blocker I use. I'll have it linked in the description. But that blocks apps for me, so that way I don't even get this temptation. The second idea is about focus shifting. So what this is about is that when you move your focus from one thing to another, it doesn't move seamlessly, right? There's lingering focus. So let's say I'm vacuuming the floor, but then I switch to, this isn't a good example, but let's say I'm doing math homework and then I switch to writing a chemistry IA. In the first like 20 minutes of writing my chemistry IA, I'll still be thinking about math because I was just doing it. There's like this lingering focus, and it prevents me from doing all my work and putting my full focus and effort into chemistry. This is why deep work is so important, because if you got all your focus on one thing and you don't switch from this thing to another thing to another thing, you just pour all of it into this one huge task that you need to accomplish, you're not going to have this effect of focus switching. You're going to have more of your focus available to the shit you actually need to work on. The last thing is all about how multitasking is a myth. So I just want to talk about multitasking is generally ineffective and not useful. It's a myth. You can't actually multitask on cognitively demanding tasks. Obviously, you're vacuuming, you're not using your brain, you can listen to a podcast or something. But like, you're not going to listen to a podcast while writing an essay. Your brain can't focus on the podcast and also produce a high quality essay. Even if it can, your essay is going to be better if you put in all your effort towards the essay, and then you can listen to the podcast while doing something else, while on like your commute or something. So multitasking is a myth. Don't subscribe to it. You want all your focus towards one task. That's ergo, that's deep work and shit. Okay, let's actually talk about achieving deep work. I hate this visual as well. I low-key hate all these visuals. I'm not going to be using Napkin AI again. I'm going to be like restructuring this next time. But how do we achieve deep work? I'm not gonna be going in order, but the first one is gonna be about distraction removal. So I talked earlier how harmful distractions are for you and even the temptation. You need to be removing all your distractions. The practicality is like, you can use cold turkey blocker. That's the one I use. I have it on my computer that can block everything. On my phone, I have an app called Forest. Forest can also block apps for you on your phone. But I prefer to just throw my phone out the window. Like, I literally leave it outside the room and I lock my door. So I literally can't have access to it. Other distractions, obviously food, throw it out, anything you're distracted by. I would recommend making a distractions list. I have one over there. Like, I'll read some, right? Like, no starting new TV shows, movies, picking songs, feeling tired and lethargic, unnecessary voice calls. You want to block yourself from all of these things. So I just pick a random one. Let's say picking songs, right? I'm usually distracted because I'm usually like picking songs and shit. What I started doing was either I don't listen to music, or if I have to listen to music, let's say people are talking, I just put on like one of those 2-hour, 3-hour long lo-fi playlists with no ads. And then I don't have to worry about like picking songs or any other interruptions. Next thing I want to talk about is the length. So deep work block needs to be 90 minutes at least. The reason it needs to be 90 minutes at least is because it takes you time to get into deep work. So like I said earlier, like lingering focus, right? The first 10, 20 minutes of your deep work block is going to be spent towards actually getting into deep work, getting into this state, because, you know, all your focus will be dispersed everywhere into like everything you did throughout the day. It takes time to like take all this focus and put it into one thing. It doesn't make sense, right? If it takes you 20 minutes to be able to focus and lock in, why would you only start a deep work block for 30 minutes? Then literally 66% of that deep work block is going to be spent towards actually getting to deep work and not getting work done. So the longer your deep work blocks are, the better. I would aim for 90-minute blocks. Those are very like round number, very like cool, like awesome number. I find 60 minutes to be a bit too short. Like, you don't want to be spending 1/3 of your time getting into deep work. That's just like a huge waste of time. And if you can do longer, that's cool. Like, if you can do 2 hours, 3 hours, that's crazy good. That's like amazing. I can only do 90 minutes for a time now, so you know, that's what I do. But if you can do longer, obviously strive to do longer. I'm striving to do longer too. I'm gonna try some 2-hour deep work blocks next week, and I'm gonna see how those go. Next, let's talk about isolationism, or just isolate yourself. Look at this goofy ass visual. Like, look at this guy, bro. Like, what is he even doing? I'm not gonna be using this again. I'll probably just make my own. Sorry guys, I was a little lazy. But basically, you want to isolate yourself in your room. So you don't want other people. Number one, you want to isolate yourself from other people, right? You don't want your like friends or your family to like be able to contact you and bother you. Like, for example, like if I'm sitting here deep work, I literally have a poster outside this room that says, if I'm in this room and the curtain is up, so I have like a curtain over my door, please don't bother me, like don't distract me, I'm in a deep work right now. I literally have that on my room. So because, you know, if you get distracted, like just walk in, they say, yo, what's good, Ivan? When are we going to the fucking Pizza Hut or some shit? When are we gooning in the mall or some shit? Like any of these shit, right? You're gonna get distracted. That's another reason why I throw my phone out the fucking door, because my phone is literally outside and the notification turned off. I don't have access to social media. I can't be distracted by that. You want to be really isolated. Literally, like this guy Carl Jung, this is an example from deep work. This guy Carl Jung, he's like a scientist or chemist or shit, whatever, I forgot. But like this guy, literally what he did, he built some like stone ass castle or some shit, like away from his house, like in the middle of like the fucking farms. You could check up on the story. I know this isn't right, this isn't like totally accurate, but this is like what I remember. And literally, like, to do his work, he would literally just go to that stone like fucking like castle shit, like his like fucking abode, his little like hut, his like stone hut, and he just stay in there for like hours and hours and hours while he worked on his like chemistry theories. So that's just like the power of isolationism. You want to isolate yourself. Let's talk about essentialism. So during your deep work block, you only want to be talking about what's most important. So next, let's talk about essentialism. So during your deep work block, you only want to be doing what's actually most important to you, and you're only going to want to be doing one task, the most essential task. But the other thing about essentialism is that you only want to keep what's absolutely necessary for you to complete that task available to you. So this means on your computer, like I know a lot of my people, not my people, a lot of my friends, I go to their computer and I see like 1 trillion fucking tabs, and I'm like, why the fuck do you do that? My dad does that well. I'm like, why do you do that, right? That's like such a killer of your like productivity. You can't find anything. And they're like, oh no, but I need all these tabs open. It's like, no. If I'm scripting videos, I only have Notion open. If I'm editing videos, I don't have anything on my computer open except for DaVinci Studio, which is where these are edited on. You want essentialism because everything else, this is like kind of goes hand in hand with eliminating distractions, but everything else are potential distractors. So you want essentialism not only on the task you're doing, right? You want to be doing the most important tasks. You don't want to be doing like a bunch of like little Diddy fucking mini tasks. You want to be doing like the big boy, like the Big Bertha ass task. And in that task, you only want to have the things most essential to you available to you. Like if you're, this also means like, you know, like if I'm just looking out, okay, my room's a little dirty right now, but if I'm looking around my room, I wouldn't have like, what I wouldn't have. Like on my desk, let's see, I'll just list on my desk right now. On my desk, I have eye drops, my webcam, and my speaker, my phone, and a piece of paper. If I was working on scripting, I don't need any of those, so I put them away. And it'd just be my keyboard, my monitor, and Notion open. Now let's talk about rituals. This is actually a good icon. I like that icon. But okay, so I mentioned earlier that there's like this transition time, right? When you go into deep work block, the first 10 minutes, 20 minutes is spent actually getting into deep work. Rituals reduces this amount of time and also increases your focus, your concentration, your discipline, your willpower during your deep work block, because it makes your brain like more prepared and ready in advance. So what rituals are is just do some things before your deep work block. Like short things, like 5-10 minute things. What I'd recommend is meditate before your deep work block. So hit 5 minutes meditation before your deep work block. I've made a whole video on meditation. You could just go watch that. But to give you like the short summary, meditation will increase your focus, willpower, a bunch of other benefits. But as it relates to deep work, it's like if you meditate before your deep work, you can be more mindful, you can have more focus during the session. I would recommend that. You could also do exercise. You could cold shower before your deep work block. Any of these like little rituals, when you do them, it like triggers your brain to like get into this state. So rituals are good. The last one is about tracking metrics. So you want to be able to track the amount of deep work hours you do in a day and the quality of your deep work. I would recommend during your deep work block, have like a piece of paper or some other thing, right? But like only this. And every time you get distracted, make like a tick on your piece of paper, because you want metrics to be able to improve yourself and like, what's it called? Progressive overload, to be able to like increase the amount you do every single time. You also want to track the number of hours of deep work hours you get done every week or every day. No, every week. You get done every week, and you want to like next week, let's say I did 10 hours this week, next week I'd be like, oh, let's aim for 11, let's aim for 12, etc., because you want to be able to gradually like extend this and improve your discipline and like the amount of deep work you can actually do. So tracking metrics is another very important one. And all in all six, give me a second, all six, okay, fuck, I hate this shit. All 6 of these things, not the time, so 90 minutes, remove all distractions, isolate yourself, only have the essentials, have a ritual before, and track your metrics. All 6 of these things will help you accomplish deep work more, and improve like your deep work skills. Okay, so I don't actually have anything written for the conclusion. Let's just write it out right now. Okay, fuck me. This shit's not working. I don't know why. It keeps making lines instead of actually drawing, but pretend this says conclusion. Thanks for watching. That's the end of the deep work video. I have more to talk about deep work, so maybe I'll make like a more extensive video, but right now I have finals and I don't want to make this video that long, so this is all you're gonna get for now. I think it's still pretty like information packed, so you know, hopefully you enjoyed it. Please use deep work in your life. Like I promise, it's like a game changer. You'll get so much more work done when you're like fully focused on something. But yeah, that's basically the end of the video. Thanks for watching. Hopefully, well, actually, like, comment how you like the like new lecture style. Um, I'll try to improve it. I'm gonna be like seeing between like these lecture style videos and then like the sort of like gaming, like fun, more entertainment type videos. And then, obviously, whichever pops off more, we're gonna stick with that one. So yeah, that brings us to the end. Thanks for watching, and have a great day.